So let's start with the beginning of the lap. So the first thing you want to do is to realign to the right. After the starter boost, wait about half a second before shrooming. I also personally like to wheelie turn slightly to the left after shrooming to get a tighter line. Once you get into the cut, you need to do a left hop. There is a pretty specific visual cue for this, which is the seam between the normal road and the grass here. After a hop, keep holding left. After you make it past the grass, hold your drift and start counter steering right. Keep holding your drift until you get to just before the second boost panel, more precisely when the boost from the first panel expires. Once that happens, you want to release your drift into a short wheelie. Then, hop as late as you can onto the second boost panel and just hold a soft drift all the way to the cannon. Most of the time when doing the shroom, you will get a small bounce. This is perfectly fine and doesn't lose much time. On rare occasions, you could also get really small bounces or just not bounce at all, which is pretty fast. However, it's not really controllable. It's mostly down to QM as far as I know. Even then, the variance is at most 0.1 seconds, so don't worry too much about it. Next is the jack strat. Pay attention on where I land from the cannon. To perform the landing, you can just hold nosedive. What I like to do here before touching the ground is to hold hop right. This will make sure that I will start a right drift when I land, and it will also reduce bounces. Immediately after landing, counter steer left. Keep holding left until you approach the middle of the track, after which start holding full right. Release your MT early and start a wheelie. Once you get on top of the curb, start another right drift. Then once you get the MT, just release it and wheelie, while trying to align with this section here. If after getting up on the curb you swing out wide or you get bounces, make sure to softer to increase your chances of getting an MT out. Bounces make the strat less consistent than it should be, however there is an alternative method which mitigates bounces a bit, although it is slightly slower on average. Let's first start with the branch turn. After leaving the wooden platform, you're always gonna get a little pocket of air. It's during that air time that you start the left drift. Make sure to, yet again, immediately counter steer right. During this turn, it is extremely important to let the slope kinda guide you. You can hold left briefly in this specific section here if you want to take the turn as tight as possible. After that point, you should mostly hold neutral while you do these little left taps. Once you start to see the treetop, you should hold full right. Keep holding full right until you get past these little bounces. At that point, release your MT, align and wheelie. Try to align with the right edge of this leaf pile. Finally, neutral hop a little bit before the lip of this wooden platform, hold a soft drift, release the MT and wheelie. This section here right after the treetop is probably the most improv heavy section of the whole track. There really isn't a 100% consistent way to do this section well every time. I personally just aim to get a slip here and then hold full right, and then at the midpoint I switch to soft left. Feel free to rock back and forth a bit if needed. You want to charge up an MT after the second boost panel and release it in this section here. Before leaving the branch, perform a wheelie and then land on a right drift, counter steering immediately after landing. Keep holding left until you get up to the slope, but before the blue zipper, after which you want to hold full right. Then just align, release your midi turbo and wheelie. If you don't want to deal with the alignment, or if you exit U-turn wide, you can go for the Xeno strat. To perform the Xeno strat, initially simply align to the left. There isn't a specific angle that you need to shoot for, however try to be more parallel to the wall. After exiting the U-turn platform, you will get a pocket of airtime. It's during this pocket of airtime that you need to start holding neutral and pressing the drift button. While riding the wall, never hold any direction on your analog stick. Once you start approaching the middle of the track, start holding soft left and then try to get your MT out. You might rock back and forth a few times, it's completely fine. Just make sure that you get your MT out after getting the pocket of airtime from the bridge. After that, just align and wheelie. For this ramp here, the best thing is to hop onto the lip and do a drift down trick. However, you can just do a simple down trick and go straight, which loses like 10 milliseconds maybe, but it's a lot more straightforward. After that, land in a wheelie, wait a bit, and then re-hop left. You want to leave this branch on its left side as it gives you lower air. For the net, on a double trick cycle, I just hop left trick, and then hop trick. And on a triple net cycle, I usually just spam the hop button and the side trick button until I get the 2 side tricks, and then I just up trick for the last one. Feel free to experiment with this, everyone just kinda does this differently. Finally, for the branch wheelie, land in a nosedive, and a good rule of thumb for the alignment is to try to land on the left side on the seam between the side leaves and the road. Make sure that you also wheelie turn for a bit after landing to adjust your angle if needed. Finally, for the last ramp, hop as late as you can and do a left drift trick. To land from this ramp, you can hold nosedive and then hold neutral or half stick shortly before hitting the ground, or you can also just tail dive. Finally, for the lap transition, make sure to wheelie turn to get an optimal angle for the shroom on the next lap. And make sure to keep wheelie turning if needed even after the shroom. But yeah, that's it.